Hello Flosstube, welcome or welcome back if you are a returning viewer. I am Sen and this is my little place on YouTube for everything cross stitch. So I am glad to be here with you again on this fine Monday. Well, if a Monday could ever be fine, really. For most of us it's like, oh no, the weekend is over, so great. But today is Monday, the 23rd of February 2026, and if you see me looking down or to the side or anything, it's because my computer is right in front of me and that's where I have my calendar and my notes and everything, because I cannot remember numbers for the life of me. But anyway, welcome to this week's update. Let's get over how I'm trying to structure this video, because you know, if you've been here before, I'm a little chaotic. So mainly today, as most weeks that we're here, we will going over what I've been stitching last week. And since I've started like a new stitchy game, which I introduced to you, if you didn't see it before, from the original maker, is Myelstönn Manor. And so first I will go over what I did for it over the last week. Then I have a finish to show you, and I do have another little project that I worked on a little bit, and then I have two other tiny finishes. So technically I have 3 finishes this week if I count them, which I should. They are tiny cross-stitch projects that I started and finished. We will go over those, and then in the end I will talk, hopefully not an hour, about a little bit about retreat stuff, because I will be joining a retreat coming up soon. I believe it is in April. And that will be the Stitch In retreat in the Netherlands. For those of you that are joining, maybe this is interesting for you. And finally, maybe some small talk about life updates and whatnot. So now that I have waffled for 2.5 minutes, I think I'm getting shorter with my start of the video waffling. Let's start with stitching. So I have continued playing Myelstönn Manor. If you do not know what that is, I will still link like Jessie Marie's video in the description. She's the one that made this game. So if over the course of this video you're like, this sounds interesting, maybe I want to try it, go check out her video. So last week I did show you where I started, and I already did show you like quite a bit of progress I made in the first week that I did it. So last week, that was last Monday. Last week I didn't do as much because I still finished the room that I moved back to. Like I think the last one that I showed you was me like being all the way and making my way all the way up this room and stitching it. So I would have to make my way back through the bedroom, in which I do have the Manor, which is one of my full coverages that has been a little neglected for quite a long time until I drew it in this project. So let me show you what I did on it. And I will, as always, put pictures how it looked the last time I showed it, which was last week. And it got quite a bit more work, as you can see. I believe this entire part here is pretty much new. At first I thought like about moving further across so I could get the top row done, but that wouldn't have been enough stitches. So I did roll for this round 2070 stitches, which is quite a lot. That was my highest number so far that I rolled in this game. So that's the amount of stitches this got last week. 2070, most of it like here in the, and you can already see like very vaguely the house coming in. So let me show you what this will look like when it is finished. Here's the card. As you can see, sorry for the glare, and there is the house that's fairly early in the picture. coming in. This is the chimney up here. And this is already part of the roof in the brown. And like I said last week, I did a mistake with the colors up here. Now you can see what I mean. The dark gray here is not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be like the same lighter gray in the rest of the cloud. But I decided against ripping it out. I will just call it like this is a little bit of darker cloud. I'll just leave it in. I'm not ripping it out. Let's see if I can get my light a little bit. It's a bit weird. It's very dreary and dark outside and rainy today, so I have to like make do with my desk lights. But that is where this one's at. And after doing my 2070 stitches on it, I did not get a milestone, which means I took a point of damage and moved on back into the upper hallway, in which we do have the forest lake. This time I did roll 980 stitches on it. And this one I did finish a milestone. Finished it yesterday, the stitch count. And this is where this one is at now, and you can probably already see it. The top tower row is done. Let me just... This is 2 10 by 10 blocks or rows. Because this only is only 4 pages wide. Like my custom milestone for the game is like I need to finish 2 10 by 10 rows, which I did. So I did get a milestone point for this one. This is what it looks like now. This is the entire width of it. Next time I will probably go back into either the second double row or work on the page finish here. And we will get back to this one soon. So since this is in the central hallway that I will always pass, getting through another room, you will see a lot of this. Might not get a milestone on it next time, but this time I sure did, which is good. Because I am now at 3 out of 6 hit points. So I can get 3 more before I have to start back from the beginning. And I am a little bit... I'm thinking currently that I will probably take these 3 points of damage before I get my missing 3 experience points. But that depends. I still don't know how I'm gonna proceed after I'm done with my current work. So I got to open a new door, and we choose this one here. I let my friend choose, and he chose this one. And then this room is my green gem dragon, on which I rolled 1,200 stitches. Also not too much. Also, yeah, the forest lake. Let me show you what it looks like finished real quick. This is what it will look like. I always forgot. I always forgot. And I can't talk. That's also a thing. So, my green gem dragon, I need to do 1,200 stitches on. I started that yesterday. So obviously I do not have all of those stitches done yet. I mean, I could have done it, but it started later in the evening after I finished my stitches on Forest Lake. So this is where it is now. At first, same with the other one, I thought about continuing the top row, and then I was like, I'm never gonna get the 10 by 10 blocks done with 1,200 stitches. That shouldn't be enough stitches. But I don't know, I didn't do the math. But then I decided that I want to get rid of the hanging threads. So let me just fold it a bit so I can get it closer. So I worked on the second page, because the first page has been done for a while. So I worked on the second page and worked in some of the loose threads. And now I'm thinking, and I'm continuing this and putting it back on the hoop, if I will just continue working on the second page for the remainder of stitches. I think I still need to do, let me check, because I do have a list. I still need to do 530 stitches out of the 1200 before I can move on. If I'm gonna do them in the second page, or if I'm gonna move down here and try to work in all of these hanging threads here, all of these part threads, and the page one below this one. Which obviously means like I'm not getting a milestone on this one anyway in this round. But this would also mean then it will be harder to get one in the next one when I get back to it. But yeah, quite a bit of work that's getting done on this one. We will see how this will proceed when I pick it back out later today. Pick it back up later today and work on it a little bit. I fold it up and put it back in its bag. So many bags here. So, and after, when I'm done with this, I will obviously move back into the central hallway. So I am expecting to get a damage for this one, because I don't think I will reach a milestone. I'm fairly sure I won't. And I will be moving back here into the central hallway. And I'm fairly sure, depending on how I roll, I mean, if I roll a super high number, it might be entirely possible to finish page one and get an experience point instead of like taking damage. So that depends on my roll. But if I take a damage, I will only have 1 hit point left. So there's no way that I will get the experience points before I run out of HP. Because if I move back in, I know I can get milestones on this one, up here on Passion. But to reach it, I will have to move through this room, and as you see, like this is where the Manor is, and I cannot get a milestone on that the next time I work on it. So that would be my last hit point, and then I will have to start all the way down here from the beginning. So I think what I'm gonna do once I'm done with this one and with whatever I roll on Forest Lake, I will probably open my last door that I'm allowed to open at my current level. One of the still closed ones up here, and check what's in there. And then probably lose my last hit point and go back down to the entry hall. But we will see what happens next week in the next episode of Flosstube Adventures. Okay, I digress. So that was my Myelstönn Manor progress. Another project that I worked on that got a little bit of love is one of my model stitches that I worked on Friday, because I was thinking about making this my new Friday stitch. I guess it's like a Dungeons and Dragons inspired pattern that I made. It's particularly for that campaign, but it works for every, like not just for Dungeons and Dragons, which is Bloodlines. That is what it is at. And yes, the little dragon down here is meant to be upside down. So this got a bit of love. I think I did work in the rest of the dragon down here. So this tiny dragon here is done. And then I did all of this gold here around like the bottom here. This crown, the little flowers going around and up, and doing all of these little flowers here for a total of 158 stitches. And this is what it will look like when it is all done. This is a pattern I made. This is available on my Etsy shop if you like it. It's just 2 colors. As you can see, I am stitching it variegated, with the variegated green and the variegated yellow on fabric that I dyed myself. But you can stitch these with any colors that you like. It just needs 2 colors, either variegated or just plain color, any fabric. It's pretty versatile. But since I've finished like my last model, I thought might as well pick this one up. But I didn't do too much on it because shortly after I started, like, our dungeon master messaged us that she was sick, so we weren't playing on Friday, which was sad. So I put it back and continued working on Myelstönn Manor instead, and on some other shenanigans that I'm going to show you in a moment. But I actually didn't. Yeah, I did work a little bit on the Myelstönn Manor, and I did finish my model stitch for my March Patreon pattern, which is a frog mandala. So this is finish number 1. This is now all done, as you can see. And this is so cute. I love this one. It still needs to be ironed, obviously. And then I need to take pictures of it. Isn't this cute? I think this is the cutest one I've made so far. Not my favorite, because that's Bloodline still, but I'm biased. But I think this is the cutest. So this will be available on my Patreon in March. So in a few days. So I need to get a move on and take pictures of it. So that was the main finish. However, I have 2 more. And now we're getting to the tiny fun parts. Taking the frog mandala pattern and figuring out that I still had some plastic canvas lying around, I made this little guy. Do you see this? It's part of the pattern, as you can see. So it's just the same as the one here. But this little guy is a needle minder. So the back is felt and there's a magnet inside. And you have like your second magnet that you put on the back. And then you will hold your needle, and there's a cat hair. Let's see. This is a cute little, very soft, because this is cross-stitched on plastic canvas. My camera cannot take like macro shots, so this is I cannot get it closer to the camera, it's not gonna work. But this is just the tiniest needle minder. I mean, all needle minders are about this size. I think I'm gonna make more of them, and maybe I will put them in my shop. Let me know if this is something that you'd be interested in. Needle minder. And because I couldn't help myself, after I made that one, I thought, okay, what other tiny motifs do I have that I used in patterns before? And then we have this little guy. This is a charm, like a keychain. Let's see. Okay, this works. Just on a little strap, and because, I mean, this one is small enough so that you can pull it through the loop up here. But if you couldn't, like, I make my charms usually the way that they have a little hook here. So you could technically also just take the, oh my god, showing this is a little difficult, the thing off. And then you just have the little charm with the hook up here. So, and this is double-sided. Let me put it back on real quick. So technically, I stitched this one twice on the plastic canvas. So this has 2 sides. I stitched 2 of it and then just stitched them together. So there's no back or anything. I mean, there is a back, but it's inside. And this is this is also 3 colors, like a dark blue for the outlines, the white for the highlights, and the variegated for the interior of the shell. You can use this as a keychain, or like take the strap off and put it on a project bag or on a scissor fob or whatever you like, really. And these are fun and quick. So I'm probably also gonna make more of these in different colors. And if you recognize where this is from, drop me a comment in the comments below. Tell me if you know where, like which one of my patterns this is from. And I have at least 2 more planned. And I'll also make needle minders out of this. The needle minders are obviously not double-sided. I did buy some smaller magnets, like they are about the same size as this magnet, but they are not as thick. So that the needle minder itself, because I don't know if you can see it, there's also a thicker magnet inside of this, but I did get some smaller ones, like thinner ones, not smaller. So that is what I did. And I thought this was so much fun. I love these tiny things. So I'm probably gonna make more of it. Which leads me to the next part of the video. So this is all the whips and all the finishes. So if you're just here to see that, then thank you for being here and watching. And if you like and want to come back, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to stick around for my retreat and live update talk, thank you for being interested in what I have to say, as always. So I am going to the Stitch-In retreat in Arnhem in the Netherlands in April. I don't have like the exact date. I don't in my head right now, but sometime late April, I believe. And this is like double exciting for me because it is the first retreat I'm going to. I've never been to a stitchy retreat. And this was like a godsend in 2 ways because A, it's close. I live in Germany, but where I live is not that far away from the borders to the Netherlands. So it's about an hour, a little bit over an hour drive, like 100 kilometers away, which is nothing for an event. I drive that all the time. And so I was like, but I did get a hotel. We are staying in the hotel where the event is being held for 1 night. So we will drive there. Like I'm driving there with my friend. He's not attending the retreat. He will just spend some time in the hotel or like go and check out the city. We will drive there Saturday morning because, like I said, it's just about a little over an hour drive for us. We will stay overnight and for 1 night, and then we will just drive back on Sunday evening and have dinner at home. It's perfect, really, because if you're returning, you know, I have like a very limited budget. We do not have that much money. So it's already a stretch to pay for a retreat and for a hotel. And wouldn't even have to pay for the hotel. We could just drive there and back every day. But we were just like, yeah, okay, let's just do it for 1 night. And especially since like he has nothing much to do since he's not attending the retreat itself. So that's exciting. I'm really looking forward to it because I've never been. I'm really curious to see how I've watched Flosstubes and I've heard like friends talk about retreats. Like my friend Dobby goes to a lot of them. Sadly she's not joining, so I probably won't know anyone there and I'm a little nervous. So if you're going, please let me know if you're one of the attendees. Then I'd love to have a chat maybe beforehand. But second exciting point for me, so that's why it's double exciting, I'm also attending as a vendor. So I will be bringing patterns, I will be bringing kits, and if I still have them, if they're not sold out by then, I will also be bringing needle minders. Again, if you're attending, you probably already know because there has been a newsletter, though the ladies that organize it did put my main job, like my main business in the newsletter, which is my stationery business, not my cross-stitch business. So I don't know how well that was received. But it's fine. It's fine. I'm not mad about it. It's both me. So But yeah, if you are attending by any chance, please let me know. And if you are, I'm looking forward to meeting you in person, obviously, and I'm very excited to be there and for the opportunity, because this is also like the first time that I'm being a vendor in that kind of, not way, like in that kind of, at an event like that, because I'm a vendor a lot at like conventions and such and markets, but that's a completely different audience. So, and I've never been like at a craft fair or just for cross stitchers, so that's, and I'm not expecting to like, you know, make a lot of money or sell out or whatever. It's just an exciting try for me to see like how events, like how retreats are. And but yeah, I will just probably be talking about it a little bit in future videos. I don't know, we will see. And otherwise, not much else in regards of live updates. We will be getting a new heater. We will be getting a new heater tomorrow. So that was a whole mess last week. I think I mentioned it on Monday that it was broken and needed to be exchanged. So they were there on Tuesday last week to check it again to see if anything, I don't know if anything changed, got better. Obviously it doesn't get better on its own, it's a machine. And the young guy that was here from the company was like still very fresh and did his job like very by the book. So he was like, yeah, no, I need to like switch it off. It's because it's not safe to run, like I said last week. So I need to switch it off, yada yada. And he did. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna make some phone calls because I'm not gonna sit here in the middle of winter without heating and hot water, because it's like a gas heater, like a gas stove. It does both, like both the heating units and the hot water. So I made some phone calls and I was like, okay, when are you gonna be here to exchange your heater? When are we getting a new one? Because like we're renters, and we're paying for this. So, and they were like, yeah, we don't know. We were planning on doing it this week, but we don't have the manpower. And I'm like, I'm not sitting here for a week without a heater. That doesn't work. It's freezing at night. So they were like, yeah, technically we don't have to shut it off because the exhaust vents are still working perfectly fine. Nothing can happen as long as they do. We have a warning, like a smoke detector. There is a specific one that detects like the gases if they like get out of the gas heater because the exhaust vent isn't working, that kind of stuff. So we have one of those that we bought the first time the heater was doing shenanigans. And we do have windows that don't fully close. So technically nothing can happen. We're perfectly safe, even if the exhaust vent stops working. And as long as it's working, nothing happens anyway. So they were like, yeah, we can turn it back on. It's still working. It just needs to be exchanged as soon as possible. And I'm like, yeah, that's what your first guy said. That's what the guy that first checked it said. Just this new guy that was here to repair it was like, no, we can't, like we have to shut it off. So they sent someone again to turn the heater back on until it would be exchanged. And now they are finally coming over tomorrow to exchange it, which will take between 4 and 6 hours if everything goes well. So we will have repair people in the flat the entire day, which wonderful. I love it. It's perfect. Can you see my irony in my face? Can you hear the irony in my voice? I hope so. But yeah, that's pretty much it for life updates. Otherwise, I will just be super busy with paperwork this week of all kinds. Need to do some like finance and stuff and everything. So it's the beginning of the year, taxes and all the fun stuff. And I need to stock up my shop again before the next busy season starts. So I will be busy. Other than that, spring is finally coming. The temperatures are climbing, which I appreciate. we're set to have the first nice and warm days on Wednesday and Thursday this week. So I'm looking forward to that, if it's actually going to happen. And yeah, other than that, that's it from me for this week. I hope you did get some stitching done while you were listening to me waffling. And I will also hopefully see you again next week. If you're so inclined, please click the little like button. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button to feed the algorithm. I will appreciate it, and so will YouTube. And then I will love you and leave you and see you again, hopefully, next week. Bye bye.